What's up, guys? Welcome to NCAA Pick'em Week 10. College football, it's the 10th week of the season. This season's flying by way too fast. I wish it would kind of slow down. So let's just get right on into it. With the first game, we have number 24, Oklahoma State, at number 2, Kansas State. First of all, I think Oklahoma State is not quite the same team they were last season, but they are still an okay team that can put up a fight at any time. I think they can and will put up at least 17 points on this Kansas State team, if not more than that. I think I'm going to keep it short and sweet, though, and say this number 2 Kansas State team can quite possibly come in here and do what they've done all year long and just, dominate and put up points and make another case as to who people should put their vote in for to play for a national championship at the end of this season, if they remain undefeated, and also the top 4 as well. So we will just see about that. So let's just see what Josh thinks.
Yeah, Kansas State's been playing lights out this year, which has led to their number 2 ranking, which jumped them ahead of Oregon. And they've been playing a lot of tough teams this year, and they've always came out on top, even close games in the very beginning. And then they kind of seem to pull away at the end with their defense. They kind of play like a moderate SEC team. I'm not saying they're bad or anything, but I haven't seen them play an SEC team yet. So I'd like to see that matchup because they kind of play like an SEC team. And I think at this point in the college season, everybody's trying to figure out what they got. They already know their identity and everything. And they say a lot of improvements come from week 1 to week 2, but I think a lot of improvements come after the bye weeks. And since a lot of teams have already had their bye weeks and stuff, this is where they start to see exactly what they got and how far they're going to go and if they're going to stay undefeated or not. And this is also where a lot of teams get to their hardest game in their schedule. It's interconference, and it's usually when they play their biggest rivals. So, even though with all that said and everything, I think that Kansas State's going to come out on top. I think this is definitely a game everyone should watch. I think the game is going to be close, and it could be a trap game for Kansas State.
All right. And as somebody dropped something in the background, we'll move on to a new part of the video. Me and Josh starting something new this week called the Upset of the Week. I'll pick a game and do my upset of the week, and then Josh will do his right after mine. So I'm going to jump right into it. My upset of the week is number 4 Oregon at number 17 USC. So here we are, guys. Finally, the Oregon Ducks have a test on their schedule. I think this is part of the reason they've been slipping in the polls every week, despite them still being undefeated. Just not being there until this point. Like I said, they're just now making it into the meat of their games, and I think it's going to be nice to see what they can do from here. Oregon, they're just a good football team, and I've been looking forward to this game ever since the season first kicked off. As of this point, USC has lost 2 games, but, you can't count them out. They're USC. They're one of the teams everybody looks to. A lot of people follow them. They have a big fan base, and they usually have a pretty good team. Of course, their national championship hopes are pretty much done this year, but they're also a football team that can and probably will compete with this Oregon Ducks football team more than anybody has to this point in the year. So I don't see Oregon throwing up 50 points before halftime this week, but I think this could be an upset for the Oregon Ducks. They may come into this game and let down their guard, and just pretty much due to the fact that they haven't played an opponent quite like USC in this season so far. So I'm actually going to take the USC Trojans for the upset at Southern Cal.
Yeah, USC's trash on defense. They're absolutely atrocious. But I do see a potential for a win there since Oregon's kind of untested. But I believe if Oregon wins this game by a lot, they're going to rise a lot in the polls because it should be their first test of the season. And it lost some of its luster with USC losing 2 games. I certainly don't think they're good, but I think Oregon coming away with a win in that one. So I wouldn't take USC in that one. That's not going to be my upset pick. My upset pick of the week is going to be Pittsburgh over Notre Dame. Pittsburgh's been playing tough as of lately, and they have Vinny Sunseri's brother as their quarterback. So I definitely think this is a game they should watch for, especially since Notre Dame's coming off a big win. They're kind of probably looking ahead and seeing the toughest games left on their schedule and stuff like that. They're probably looking ahead to a championship game, and I think that this could be a trap game for them. So I think this is a game they definitely should watch out for. And then the other game that I mentioned earlier is Oklahoma State and Kansas State. I definitely think Kansas State should watch out in this one because this could be a trap game for them too as well. So they should definitely play tough and keep their heads up because they could have a run for their money in these 2 games. And now onto a part of the video We're going to do some quick picks of all the ranked matches this week. The first one up is Texas A&M, number 16 Texas A&M at number 15 Mississippi State. Who do you got, London?
I'm taking Mississippi State.
I'm taking Mississippi State as well over newly added Texas A&M. All right, London. On to the next pick. We have Texas at Texas Tech.
Well, on my behalf, I don't think anything much needs to be said except the Texas Tech Red Raiders are going to win.
Yep. I have Texas Tech in this one. Tommy Tuberville coaching them to the win in this one. All right, and then next one up on our schedule is Oregon, number 4 Oregon at number 17 USC. You already said you thought USC was going to win this one, so you got USC, and I'm going with Oregon in this one.
All right.
And then the next one up is our Alabama Crimson Tide, mine and London's favorite team, at number 5 LSU. Who you got, London?
All right, guys. I'll be covering this in Game of the Week coming up, so just a quick pick. I'm going to go ahead and pick Alabama.
And now I'm going to pick Alabama as well over LSU. And now we have Oklahoma State, number 24 Oklahoma State, and number 2 Kansas State. Who you got, London?
Yeah, I'm going with Kansas State in this one.
I definitely think this could be an upset, but I'm going to have to go with Kansas State in this one. Something tells me that Kansas State should watch out in this game, though. And now on to our Game of the Week. Go ahead and, London, and take it away.
All right, guys, it's Game of the Week. It's College Game Day. They're going to be there covering it all day long. I'm eager to see what Lee Corso picks because he picked LSU both times last year. This is the third time within a year that Alabama and LSU have faced off, and both of them being ranked in the top 5. It's Alabama-LSU Part 3 at LSU. A very big matchup coming from Baton Rouge. I mean, this LSU and Alabama rivalry has just grown so much in the last few years, and College Game Day just couldn't pass it up no matter what games are being played. So I think this is going to be a really good game, unlike the people that said the last two were straight up boring. If anybody thought those games were boring, they're not a fan of defensive football, and they don't know what defense is. So, I mean, both of these teams have actually won a game apiece in their last 2 matchups. So I look at this as the tiebreaker because if the winner of this game wins out, they'll be playing for a national championship in January down in Miami. So I just think Alabama has to be careful traveling to Death Valley for a night game because LSU is just pretty much dominant when they play home games at night. Not only is this a night game at LSU, but LSU currently has a win streak of 22 games at their home stadium. I think if A.J. McCarron can just keep playing like he has all year, Alabama should be all right. We clearly have the better quarterback, but the defense will definitely have to make plays for us and get us some turnovers as well. We just need our players to stay healthy and just stay calm. But here's a little nice fact for you guys. Although this is the third meeting with Alabama and LSU, like I said in the past year, LSU has not scored a touchdown on the Crimson Tide since November 6th of 2010. And that game was where else but in Baton Rouge. So one more little fact I want to put out there is that these two teams have a history of overtime games, most recently when LSU defeated number 1 Alabama in Tuscaloosa last year with a score of 9-6. They went into overtime just 2 other times, which was not that long ago, back in 2005 and 2008. LSU won at Alabama and vice versa. Alabama won at LSU. And my point there being that anytime this rivalry has gone into overtime, the visiting team has always won. So if that happens this weekend, I hope it doesn't. But if it does, it could be looking good for Alabama. But it's going to be a great game. A lot of people's going to be watching, and I have to roll with my Alabama Crimson Tide.
All right, well, certainly everyone knows that LSU has won more than they've lost in Alabama Stadium, and Alabama's won more than they lost in LSU Stadium. So I don't think home field advantage really matters in this game as much. And hopefully Alabama doesn't get rattled in this game. I don't think they haven't been rattled on the road yet so far that I've seen. They've actually played better on the road this year than they've actually played in their own home stadium. If you look up the stats, they've had better stats on the road than they have in their own stadium. But with that being said, they're going to have to watch out. They're going to one of the loudest stadiums in college football in Death Valley, and it is certainly a place they should watch out for. This is definitely a game they're going to have to be on their A game, and they're going to have to come out early and often, and they're going to have to just pretty much give everything they got to win this game, to beat that stout defense that LSU has, but LSU doesn't really have anything on offense, so I think our defense should hold up pretty well against their offense, and I believe our offense is going to be too much for them to handle on defense, and I see that I think Alabama's going to roll in this one big time.
All right, guys. So that pretty much wraps up our Week 10 college pick'em. Be sure to go check out Chase's Cowboys preview. Go ahead and check out our Titans preview of the week, as well as our NFL pick'em. And until next week, guys, roll Tide.